You don't have any of those around, do you? Like one that came out of that package, do you?
Oh, yeah, I got all of them here. Well, not all of them, but Lucas, maybe put me full screen.
Yeah, all you.
So, I'm ugly.
This is the Wind Dummies Podcast. I'm your host, Lucas Deal, taking over for the legend, Jonathan Gerber. Gerber, thank you so much for starting this thing, passing me the torch. And boy, oh boy, are you all in for a treat tonight. I'm here with the real stars of the show. You probably know him. He's a one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. What's up, my man? How you feeling tonight?
Dude, I'm feeling great, man. This thing looks awesome. We're going to have a great time with our guests tonight. We got some fun games. It's just going to be awesome.
Yep, it is. And not to be outdone, we do have also the disc golf veteran and the step putt master, Mr. Ronnie Unruh.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What up, dude?
Those beats coming in. Oh, my goodness.
Right?
Come on. Jamming in the background. I love it.
What do we have in store for these nice folks this evening?
Fellas, we got the typical monthly fun, but we got one we've been saving for you. We got a guy that's probably the best player to ever come out of our state. It's not really a probably.
Not a probably.
This guy's a world champion. We have another world champion on this podcast, but this guy won the Pro Worlds. This dude was the world champion.
This one isn't in quotes.
Yeah, in a guy that me and Smitty go a long ways back with, right? So it'd be fun to talk to Eric. I haven't talked to Eric in a while, so I can't wait, actually.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to talk some food drive stuff. We're going to bust out this new platform, which is, just look how sweet that is. One thing I would say, anybody who's watching via Facebook, I think your viewing experience will be so much better if you find the Disc and Deals channel on YouTube and join the live chat there. We can see who you are. Like I can see Grandma saying he checked in. Somebody else saying, "What's up, guys?" It just comes in as Facebook user to us, but then I can see Chase Boyd because he's signed into YouTube. So if you're watching live, which, look how cool that is.
Yeah. The production value,
you would use the YouTube feed.
Yeah, Lucas, the production value is going up a notch here, and
yeah.
We look fantastic. Love it, man.
Beyond the normal stuff, we're gonna bring Rule School back. We've missed that a few episodes, and we made it a whole year, man. We made 12 episodes.
It's the year kind of flew by on us, man. Yeah, we've had. I missed an episode, but this is our 12th one, and we've even got a new partner here with Lucas. So it's a full year of doing this, man. It's crazy.
Yep. And we're gonna do it again next year, and we're planning on doing some things beyond this. Just some weekly, bi-weekly, whatever. Kind of follow the disc golf tour a little bit, and just get on here and chat and have some fun with each other and people in the chat.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. I think it's very important that everyone knows here. Let's move some things around here. But this episode is going to be brought to you by Heiser Knots. Just a guy and his crew doing what they can do to make disc golf better. If you mention the Wind Dummies podcast when you do an order, you will get 10% off the entire year through 2024. All you got to do is mention the Wind Dummies podcast, and Heiser Knots is going to hook you up. Not only that, Heiser Knots also going to currently running a mystery box that's going to go through the end of the year. This thing is pretty sweet. Let me tell you what all it comes with. You get a distance driver, a fairway driver, one mid-range, and a putter for just $50. And there's going to be assorted manufacturers, which we have Trilogy, Discraft, Lone Star, Innova, and Millennium. If you are someone that doesn't want it assorted and wants to have something very specific, you can specify, and Heisernauts will attempt to cater to your request.
Absolutely. Best I can.
If you need help selecting that stuff, let me know, man. I only charge a 1 disc fee per box, so just let me know. I'll hook you up. I'll let you know what you need.
All payment and Lone Star.
Yeah.
Carriers only.
There is going to be more information within this podcast on how you can enter a giveaway that we'll have next podcast for a free mystery box. So stay tuned for that. And last but not least, speaking of sponsors and companies that are amazing, if you or your company would like to sponsor an episode or become a Wind Dummies podcast title sponsor, please reach out to Ronnie, Smitty, or myself, or email us there at win.dummies.podcast@gmail.com. Let's jump into a little bit of the action around the KDGA schedule here.
Let's do it.
Pull that up. So let's talk this. Woo.
Yeah, I drove down to Emporia on Monday. Yeah, Monday, my first day of vacation. Buzzed down there, ran into the shop, said, "Hey, I'm here to pick up an order," and that barely fit into a Tacoma long bed. I'm glad I went with the long bed. Yeah, it's about 1,000 Frisbees there, and we got a few hundred more coming from Millennium in the next week, and we are ready to roll. That's all food drive discs right there. We got to get rid of all those bad boys to make some money for local food charities for sure.
You
Yeah, there
don't
is
have any of those handy, do you?
What's that?
You don't have any of those around, do you? Like one that came out of that package, do you?
Oh, yeah, I got all of them here. Well, not all of them, but Lucas, maybe put me full screen.
Yeah, all you.
So,
Hold
I'm ugly. So this is disc number 1. All of them have a little number signifying which stamp you've got. This is number 1 with multiple sponsors. We have fewer sponsors per disc this year, allowing us to let the logos be a little bit bigger. And man, I can't be more happy with the way they came out. This is number 1. This is a burst
sick.
evidence. Pretty cool disc. 3 molds on a stamp 1, I believe. Number 2 here, which this disc that I'm showing you is an Orbit Justice. These things are wicked overstable. My stamp's on this one, so I know this also came in Vandals and Verdicts. Disc number 3 here with all of our sponsors. There's the Wild Bill. I see Andrew popping in once in a while, so Wild Bill looks pretty good on there this year. Number 4, see all those different sponsors. It's just amazing that many people were willing to cough up $100 to get their logo on a disc, or $50 to get their name. This is disc number 5? We're up to 5 here. This is a really cool one. Confetti Trespass. These things are great. I've been throwing not this one of these, but a Confetti Trespass a little bit. Like I said, all those people ponied up $100 to get on there. These guys, the MA40 crew, ponied up $500 to get their own solo logo on a disc. That's number 6. Awesome. And our final disc is number 7. Ronnie's company also threw in $500 to get their logo solo on a disc. So we got a lot of those, and like I said, we're going to get some more from the guys down in Harrington. Pretty cool.
They came out so good, man. Like even better than I thought it was going to. When I got the sneak preview the other day of what that looked like, I was like, oh man, that's legit. They all look amazing.
Yeah, man, they look great. They look good. So there they all are in the boxes. They're all now sorted in Mace's basement by mold and color.
Sweet.
I think this needs to be stated here.
Yep, he hit me up with that, wanting to do that, and I said, "That's what are you going to put on?" And he said, "MA40." So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
You rock, Mr. Sawyers.
And he gives a lot of goldfish away.
Oh yeah, I've been giving those out as some prizes at Flights League too. So
Yep.
So great stuff. Oops, sorry. Someone had a question right away. They want to know how far you threw in 2001.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it when the runner-up gets here.
All right. So let's talk about some of these upcoming food drives.
Look, so this is one that the three of us are pretty partial to, right? That we've kind of collaborated with the AirCap Club to throw the first food drive on. What is it, next Saturday? Is that right? Is it that fast?
Yeah, it's not far.
Food drive, chili cook-off, raffle, other yet to be determined fun that we still haven't even come up with. So come out and have a good time with us, and let's eat some chili and raise some money for the Wichita Food Bank, the Kansas Food Bank. So mulligans, we're going to take in some canned goods. It's gonna be a heck of a time. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and please bring some chili. Lots of chili, please.
That course at Herman Hill, that Herman Hill disc golf course, that we're gonna play it there. But I mean, we're gonna set up something special. See if we can make this a really good time.
Yeah, it won't be your normal. We're gonna do some temporary stuff, and it's gonna be fun. All right, next up.
Man, if you haven't been to the Inman Food Drive, you're really missing out. They, I know in the past they always do a pancake breakfast in the morning. I'm sure that's probably on the agenda for now. Super short course, super tight little park, but they usually get, I think that over 100 people maybe last year. And the biggest raffle, maybe, I haven't been to the Salina Food Drive in a few years. I know they have a big raffle, but Inman Food Drive generally has a huge raffle, and DB and Kevin and the whole crew do a really good job of running the event. It's a great time.
Yeah, I went last year. It was a hell of a time, dude. We you'll never have so much fun playing in a group of 10. So awesome.
All right, next up.
Anthony. So I assume this is being ran by Mr. Craig Winters. I see an MA40 crew there. So it looks like the 7th of January. Anthony Lake. Let's hope it's not all this snow on the ground like this picture shows. But yeah, get out there on January 7th and have some fun at Anthony Lake. One of my favorite places to play disc golf in Kansas. I love that place.
Yeah.
Always have.
I'm a big fan of losing discs there. Every time.
I've got a 4-time Paul Macbeth force in the pond there with about 5 aces on it. So if anybody happens to run across that, let me know. There's a big reward for it.
Yep. And Craig said, that's him. He'll be running that. All right, next one up.
This is new to the food drive schedule down in Chapman. Andrew is the host this year. From what I know of the course, it's a short, fun play, and we're always excited to have new venues show up on the food drive schedule.
Yeah, awesome.
That'll be cool.
Sharon, Kansas. I assume this is another Craig Winters one. 113, January 13th. I haven't had a chance to get down there and play that course there. I see him posting about that stuff all the time, but I haven't had a chance to play it. I assume it's pretty sweet though. But January 13th, Sharon, Kansas, not too far away from a lot of people. So let's see how many people we can get out there.
January 20th, Concordia Food Drive. This is being run by Mr. Workentine down in Concordia. If you've never played Concordia, it's a really fun play. Parks right off of the highway, across the street from Walmart. A little bit of rolling hills, a couple tight shots. I've always loved going down there and playing for sure.
Yeah, I've never played that course.
It's fun.
I've been there. It's fun. Milton Vale, is that a Damon? Is that another Damon one?
Yeah, I think it's that the dates are the same, so I think they're piggybacking off of one another, one early, one late. I'm not sure.
The old
Yeah, this is Damon.
day night doubleheader kind of situation. Yeah, on the 20th as well. So that's cool. Like I said, I've heard some really good stuff about playing that course. So I've never had a chance to go play.
Got the shortest par 4 in Kansas that you'll be happy with the 4 on.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, you guys have talked about that course before. Oh, this poster though. Whew.
That's Jetmore. Ethan just didn't get a chance to making it. Also on January 20th, Lucas said he would throw in a free disc to anybody who'd pulled the January 20th trifecta off, play Concordia, Milton Vale, and Jetmore food drives. Lucas is going to throw in a free disc.
Yeah,
I'll double the prizes. I'll double the prizes.
Yeah, video evidence here. I definitely said it. So got you. If someone wants to do that, I got you.
Another one down there for Craig.
Craig doesn't stop.
This is the one. I think this is the one at the school. I haven't had a chance to play this one either. This is all from area. Well, I've got some family down there around Medicine Lodge, so I need to get down there and hit all these. January 21st. Yeah, another good one that's probably gonna have some good time at. So I need to get down there and play it, Craig. You're right. I do need to play it.
Garden City, the Garden City crew, my guys Daniel and Evan, their parents, I guess, are going to be running this, and Garden City Community College. It's I'm so excited to see a growing community out there in Garden City and Dodge City and all those little Western Kansas towns. I got a soft spot in my heart for all those people way out west. I spent some time out there, so that'll be a good time.
Andrew chimed in and said that Chapman is not at the old one, that original course down there in the little part of town, that little short one. This is at a super long 9-holer. So sounds like a good time. I might have to work my way up to Chapman. That's up on I-70, yeah.
Just past Abilene, short of Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, here's one that tends to get a bunch of people every year. Marquette. I'm sure DB is going to have a heck of a time going on out there. January 27th. Who doesn't love the Marquette course? Who doesn't love the Pac-Man hole? So, yeah, of course you're going to have a good time at Marquette. So,
yep,
I bet a bunch of people show up.
Oh yeah. And another one with Andrew driving force behind it there in Harrington. I know that this is at Father Padilla. I know they're doing some updates to Father Padilla, and Harrington's getting a new course somewhere there. So they got a lot of good things going on there. And, if it's in Harrington, Dennis is involved. And if Dennis is involved, it's cool. So,
yeah, very much so.
All right, boys, I think that's our last one.
That's just January, man. When we started this whole ordeal, I think it's 13 or 14 years ago, there was like 7 or 8 stops on the entire thing. Good gravy. Somebody could have 120 points by the end of January, basically, if they played all those events. You get 10 KDJ points if you're a member and you play those. It's a great way to earn points if you're trying to get in, become a top finisher in the points race. So this guy, I don't know if you can see this or not.
Oh, let me get you soloed.
Mr. Nate Taylor played multiple of those food drives last year on his way to winning the KDJ Points race. And we have while I was in Emporia, I picked up all the trophy disc for all the winners, the top 3 finishers in each division. So Joe has all the ones for the Salina crew already. Kevin has all of them for the Darren Bottom crew. I have all of them for Wichita crew, and there's just a few in and out of there that we'll try to catch during the year. We try to hand them out versus shipping to save $8 a pop.
Yeah, super sweet. Can't wait to snag mine.
Ooh,
I didn't get one this year.
Oh.
Boo.
Move your head a little bit. We'll all feel real sorry for you. Yeah, go back.
Right on.
All right. I think we might have someone sitting in the green room waiting to say hi to us.
Or are we going to do rule school first?
You want to do that first?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's do rule school first.
And then bring Eric in.
He's not that important.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's the scenario. I'll give you guys a scenario. You kind of tell me what you're thinking, and the chat can chime in a little bit to what they're thinking, and we'll try to break this down, okay? So Barry Climo, pretty good player, you may have heard of him, was driving on hole 8. During his throw, a park user's dog spotted a squirrel in a tree across the park. The dog jetted across the fairway, leash bouncing in the air behind him, startling Barry as he released. Climo's shot was wide and ended up deep in the creek to the right side of the fairway. Looking at the dog and complaining, his group allowed him to rethrow, claiming it was only the fair thing to do. What do you guys think? Lucas, where are you going with this?
I'm gonna phone a friend here and see what the chat says. I'm gonna use my lifeline. What's the chat thinking here?
We got somebody laughing at it.
What's the scenario? Were we playing sanctioned golf?
Yeah, was it sanctioned tournament?
It was during a PDGA league.
Okay, so
that's irrelevant though. This was a group playing, even if it's just normal league, a group playing league of some sort.
If we're in league, yeah, we're playing organized golf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't like me hanging out with you like casually. This was some type of organized disc golf.
There was money on the line and people, relying on you to enforce the rules.
Yeah,
I'll say this then. If we're playing organized golf and that scenario happened, Barry's playing partners, their heart was in the right place, right? Obviously, it's not Barry's fault that the dog ran in front of him then, right? He didn't cause that. However, if I'll just use another analogy. If the tree next to the tee pad fell down as Barry was throwing and had a Randy Johnson moment, and as the tree was falling, his disc hit it, what would happen then? Right? Would he still get to rethrow?
Yeah, just the same situation. So yeah, you can't do a rethrow, right? It sucks, right? It wasn't cool.
Wait, hang on, time out, Urge. You always have the option to rethrow. That's always a rule in disc golf.
Fair enough.
The entire time, whether it's a drive or a putt, you always have the option to rethrow. Never is it free.
Right. Exactly.
You can always abandon a throw, and it only costs you the throw and a penalty for rethrowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. It is terrible luck. But you just have to chalk it up to that and understand that good breaks happen and bad breaks happen. This was a bad one, and it's probably going to cost me a chance to make birdie. I move on. I take what I feel like is maybe a one-stroke penalty that I've incurred for my bad luck, and I go on to the next hole. Right? I mean, that's really the mentality you have to have, in my opinion.
Greg's right over there in the chat. He says same thing happened to him, and he had to take the throw, and that's exactly right. That is exactly what you have to do. You have to take that throw, or like I said, you can abandon your throw and throw again. That's always an option in disc golf. But like just because your group says that it's okay for you to do that, it's not, man. Because who's to say you don't shank one 2 holes later and that car 2 blocks down honked their horn and that distracted me, or the guy walking behind me distracted me. It's just a bad break. And unfortunately in disc golf, more and more the people on the course are often the cause of a distraction. 10 years ago, if you walked around the course and screamed and yelled at somebody 3 fairways away, or, oh my God, I missed a putt, you would have got ridiculed by the Mojos and the Dave Richardsons, and all those old guys would have, you wouldn't have wanted to go eat lunch. That's for sure.
You would have heard about it the rest of the day and for every event you went to for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, it just sucks. It's one of those things, just bad break. And
it is,
there are a lot of times in disc golf where, we give the benefit to the player. That's always something that's been, it's a benefit of the player, and your card made a decision. Your card can make a decision on whether you're out of bounds or not. Your card cannot make a decision on whether you can rethrow or not. Unfortunately, that's just the rules of the game. And I'm not sure who this is, Take Flight Disc Golf. But yeah, it says it has right. In sanctioned play, rules are rules. Sorry about your luck, but luck isn't included in the rule book. It's pretty cut and dry.
So, while I was looking for these rules, because I've heard people say I take a practice throw. Any throw that you make with intention isn't a practice throw. So, you could try to claim that, but now you're really bending the rules, and you're playing with disqualification if that gets back to the TD, I would say. But I came across the dog rule. I thought, well, why is a dog even in the park? Right? Now I get this. This isn't tournament play that we're talking about. This is just a weekend flex league, whatever.
Yep.
Wednesday flight league, whatever's going on. And somebody's dog was there. That dog, in tournament play can't be there unless it's a service animal. PDGA play definitely can't be there. That's 100% against the rules. But, I don't have a problem in league if somebody has their dog with them, if their dog is under control. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think of
Hogan.
Hogan's a good one, but who's the guy with the gray doodle here in town?
Oh gosh, dang it. Why did you have to
Perfect dog, man. It just goes wherever he goes, does whatever he does, follows the rules. It's awesome. But then I think
there's a couple folks
to
like that have dogs
those
like that.
2 stupid
Cody
border
Jackson.
collies we had.
Someone got it.
Cody, yeah, Cody's dog. Great dog. But I think back to those border collies we had that would try to herd your disc and lay at the end of the tee pad, and no room for those. But then, you guys ever play with somebody that says, "Do you care if I play music?"
Well, yeah. I've played with plenty of people who didn't care whether they played, whether I cared. They just played with anyone.
100% against the rules in PDGA play. Specifically says you have to use headphones. And if you're using headphones, I better not hear it, basically is what it's saying. Now, I think you'd have to be a Karen to
you would. I mean,
call that on somebody. But at the same time, man, I could see music being a distraction to somebody somewhere not on your hole.
Look, both of these rules that we're talking about, I guess not necessarily, but in general, the rule book, it's our responsibility as players to enforce the rules against each other out of the protection of the rest of the field, right? So, yes, we have decisions we can make as a group, but we should be making those decisions being mindful of the rest of the field and not just the people that we were playing with because we're playing with our homies or whatever, right? I mean, the rules are just the rules. It's as simple as that.
Well, Ronnie, we ready to give the people what they want?
Well, we're going to give them what they get.
There we go, buddy. Bring in our guest, Lucas.
You got it.
There he is, folks.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, dude? How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourselves?
Real good.
Also, I'd like to point out real quick, Ralph would never run across a fairway.
Unless he had a broken leg banging out there.
Yes, that's true. He did do that a few times. That is true.
Yeah.
Back when it was okay, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But he was never a problem.
No, he didn't care about discs. He wanted nothing to do with them. And he was pretty chill, except that when Nate Martin took him to Beloit and I wasn't there, but I recall hearing the stories of somebody on the microphone telling him to shut up in the middle of the night. But
That's probably Ronnie.
yeah, it could have been. I think it was a 2001 distance champion of some sorts. But whatever. That's fine.
Samber Open long drive champion.
Oh man, long drive. Yeah, I remember that day. I remember that day vividly.
I threw a green FX Firebird, 487 feet.
Yep.
I remember you threw.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what I threw.
Oh, you do too, you son of a gun.
Was it what 2001? Oh,
it was a black disc with a gold stamp.
Black disc, gold stamp. I mean, 2001. Goodness, what would that have been?
You were still throwing rhinos and stuff this time.
Yeah, I figured as much. Black disc, gold stamp.
You rolled it.
I knew I threw a roller. I don't remember what it was. I can't for the life of me.
I'm pretty sure it was a lightning disc of some sort.
Was it really? Oh, you're right.
Oh my God.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I don't know what the disc was, what it was called. We don't need to talk about the gold stamp on it, but yeah, I do recall that now. Yeah, that's right. It was my roller disc.
I want a cart before carts were popular, and he said, go into my trailer and just fill it. Your winnings are this cart and everything you can put in it.
Yep.
So I just filled that thing up with discs, and
it wasn't just a cart. It was one of those like torpedo carts.
It was a tube. Yeah.
Fit like so many discs.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. That was in Hutch, right?
Yep. We threw on I forget the hole, but it's the one before the big mound placed towards the road.
Yep.
So
I remember. That was
fun.
You whooping me that day. Yeah.
That was fun. I'm sure you beat me by 20 in the tournament.
Probably not. Well, I don't know. Hard to say. Hutch was always a fun course. I haven't been there in years, but it was always a fun course.
That course at Cary Park's pretty much gone. It's just all the cottonwood trees and everything are out.
Yeah, the cottonwoods are going down. The pines are all dead.
The stickers are still there.
I'm sure.
Stickers are still there. It's kind of just wide open.
That's the nature of the beast, though, right? I mean, with all these old school courses that we used to love are just losing trees left and right. Look at. Yeah. I feel like every time I go to Pan or Jones, I feel like there's another red X on a tree, which is, always such a sad day. But one bonus thing going on is Keith Krause. I don't know if everybody here, do you guys know Keith? He's the guy that's helper at DD, helps out with all the event stuff. He kicks butt is what he does. He's the man. He just got hired on from the city to be the disc golf superintendent. So his job is to make the courses look good. So hopefully, we lose a tree. Hopefully he's planting 2 more, those kind of things. And just dressing up tee pads, replacing tee pads that need replaced, baskets, those kind of things. So it's pretty cool to see the city step up and want to do something like that and create a position like that is pretty cool. And I think Keith's probably the best guy for that job. So it's pretty cool to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
That's awesome. That's forward thinking too. I don't know very many disc golf superintendents at parks.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen there, right? I mean, that's the logical first place where it happen. Hopefully we see it happen other places.
Absolutely. I think you'll see it more. The only place I've really seen it was like private courses, obviously. Disc Golf Terminalen up in Skellefteå, Sweden they had a guy there that was the disc golf superintendent, took care of the park and the course and all that. And he did such a great job. So yeah, I would love to see this catch on in more cities step up and do this. Cause it's put it in a course. It's not as easy as just, hey, let's put the course in, then we're done. There's so much more maintenance that goes on to it, upkeep and, tee pads getting eroded. And there's just a lot of maintenance that goes on behind it. So keeping a course up to date is good in my book.
Well, I know here in Wichita, man, our parks department, they do a great job. They help us out with what we need, but the disc golf community is really who is the driving force behind keeping everything good and updated and, fixing things that need broken. Just last weekend, Mike Bailey, just total stud here in town, had to take a vacuum out and vacuum rocks out of a sleeve because we have this extended pole.
Mm-hmm.
Basket's like 7 feet in the air. Looks really awesome. This big tower around it, and somebody just dropped rocks and rocks and rocks. Yeah. So he just vacuumed those suckers out.
That's awesome. That's good to have good people around. That's hard to find. It's hard to find there. You see it more and more on courses where the city allows that kind of thing, allows disc golf clubs to go out and do work. In Emporia, they would prefer to do it themselves. They don't want us out there. I don't know if it's a liability thing or what it is.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's a small community aspect of it, but so they're always taking notes and listening to what we want. And we always ask for the moon, and typically we'll get something a little bit smaller, but yeah, shout out to the city of Emporia. They're doing big things. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Love it, man.
That's cool. We always start this with 3 questions from Ronnie. We call it 3 from the tee.
All right.
I don't know if you've watched in the past or caught this, but it's always the same 3 questions to every guest. So, Ronnie, you ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right, dude. Question number 1. Do you remember the first disc you ever had, and do you still have it?
Yes and yes. And ironically, it is a lightning disc handed down to me from Jim Ramsey had it at one point. Mike Gentry had it at one point. Maybe Don Carter had it at one point. If you look at the back of this disc, it's just got scribbles on it and, Sharpie from the next hand-me-down. So it was a Glow Stealth, and it is hanging in my basement as we speak. So, yes, I still have that disc.
That's great, dude. The stories we always get. I think I'm the only person who doesn't still have their first disc. I feel terrible about it.
No, yeah. Yep.
All right, question number 2. They're gonna get progressively harder here for you.
Sweet.
Question number 2, you get a dream card, right? You and 4 dudes. Who's in your 5?
Oh man, do they have to be living?
Nope.
They do not. They can be any person you want.
Yeah. I have seen this segment, so I know, and I tried to prepare for it, but you just can't prepare for this because there's the narrowing it down to only 3 other dudes is like next to impossible, I think. But I'll give it a go. Probably number 1 would be Steady Ed. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play around disc golf with that guy? I had the pleasure of meeting him at my Am Worlds that I played in 99, I think it was 99 Kansas City. He came down and it's probably my most prized disc that I have. I have a Steady Ed Glow Putt with his signature on it and 001, and it's framed up on the wall as well, that's pretty cool. So he would be, my number 1 probably. Number 2, I'd probably go with a local legend, downtown Randy Brown. Just always, looked up to that guy. He was, when I first started playing and was playing advanced and then moving into pro, he was the badass around. He was the guy that everybody looked up to and wanted to be like, and I was definitely a part of that. So, and then the 3rd, man, couple names coming to mind, but I'd probably go with LaRon, honestly, because he kind of took me under his wing at one point and was a mentor kind of thing, and just tried to model my game after him. I remember driving to Kansas City when it was Kansas City Wide Open, the big event up there, the A-tier as it was back then, because that's all we had. But it was huge, and they'd play 4 rounds, and then they'd play a final 9 with the top 4 guys. And I remember just always wanting to be there to watch that. And he was always in that final. Yeah. And him and I always remember watching Climo play there. Stokely was always there, it felt like. And I remember one year Babbitt made it into that final, which is always a goal back then, is to make it in one of those finals. And I think LaRon was definitely the man that I looked up to the most and modeled my game after. So I think that's my 4. I think that's a pretty solid 4, though.
You get one more if you want it.
We'll give you one more.
Man. Another one.
You don't have to have it.
You don't have to have it. That's a pretty hard 4 to beat.
It is, and I'm going to bring Ralph back, and he's going to join us for this round, and he's
Heck yeah.
not going to run across the fairway. So I even got the Ralph hat on tonight. So
I kind of thought that might be one of them.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Love it. Yeah, Randy has been on, I think, 3 people's 5. And maybe more than that. Who doesn't like downtown?
LaRon's been There's been several stories
Multiple,
of Ron.
right? I know for sure that he was one of Downtown's 5, actually. So, all right, the last one. This one might not be. This is usually a hard one for people. This one might not be so hard for Mr. McCabe. Your favorite disc golf memory?
Ooh. Well, I mean, obviously, winning Worlds is got to be number one in memories and things I've done and looked up to. But honestly, like, as much as I loved winning Worlds and like that's probably number one, but I'm gonna set that one aside and pick another one just because that's kind of like the obvious answer. I think one of my biggest achievements in the sport has been being the president for the President's Cup, the team captain for President's Cup. And when we played in, I got the honor of playing in 2010, and we played here at USDGC. And then in I don't even remember what year it would have been, 12 maybe, I was the Captain America. It was what I was. So I got to pick the team to go over there and play. And America's won every single year, so you never wanted to be that one guy that you didn't win. So I was a little nervous going into it, but it was such a great time, such a great experience. And if you guys haven't, I know PDGA just announced Finland for the World Championships 2025, which I personally think is huge and is going to be just amazing. I mean, even back when I was traveling over there and playing in 2009, 10, 11, those years, they treated the sport like we're treating it now. Like the people that would just come out and spectate, the money that was added to the events, the professionalism. I mean, it was an arena. It was insane how much they really treated the sport like we'd made it. That you got treated like athletes over there. The Americans that went over there all got treated like professional athletes. And this is 2010, 2011. So I mean, I can't imagine what they're going to do next year. But being there and being a part of the Team America for the President's Cup was probably one of my greatest memories of disc golf.
Who was the team? Do you remember everybody who was on there?
I have a photo of it somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was Ricky, Macbeth, Shoestrick, Paige and Kat,
Nate Doss,
Nico, Nate Doss, and I think there was one more guy that I'm
Avery.
I don't think he was on the team. I don't think maybe a Sexton. No, because I remember I had a captain's pick of the last pick, and he signed a Red Bull can. And earlier that year in Texas, and gave it to me. It says, "Hey, I want to give you this, when you're thinking about making your pick next year." It was Sexton was who it was, and he ended up not getting picked. But I made a joke when he was captain and signed a Red Bull can and took a photo and sent it to him. Said, "Hey, dude, I'm available if you need me."
Yeah.
But no, there's a picture of it somewhere, but I can't remember who that ate. It might have been Yuli, actually.
Oh, okay.
Around that time frame. It probably was. So
I've seen that photo.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on there, but yeah, how cool would it be, Smitty, to captain a national team?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal. Yeah, crazy.
I tell you, the fear of losing is probably a little greater now than it was in 2010.
Absolutely right. Those Europeans are insane. How good they are. It's crazy.
Well, the chicks, Kristen's gonna just probably smash.
Oh yeah,
us.
No matter who she's playing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Remember, this is kind of off topic, but speaking of Europeans, you remember at the Casey White Open when I forget the hole? Well, it's the same hole where the guy painted your disc that year in warm up, but
yep, painting the circles.
Yeah, he just painted over your disc. Yeah. Marcus Schallstrom threw that bomb drive all the way down there to the edge of the circle, and he's lining up that putt and putted that sucker right into the zoo.
Yep. Oh, I remember that. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. At Swope. Yep.
Yeah, those Euros don't do that anymore.
No. And I think he was throwing piranhas like 500.
It was a piranha.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Dude is insane. I throw far. That was his.
Yep.
That was his thing. He almost won Worlds. He almost took down Doss at his second Worlds, I think. Yeah. The one in Wisconsin. He almost beat him. He was chasing him down. I remember that was my first Worlds I went to. and played in, I believe. And I remember watching that final 9 thinking, goodness, how does this guy throw a disc so far? It was insane. And that was at Highbridge, Wisconsin, which is like almost Canada. It's so far up there.
Final 9s were awesome, weren't they?
Absolutely. I part of me wishes they'd come back. And I know they do for the majors, a couple of the majors. I don't know if they do for Pro Worlds. I don't think they do for MPO, FPO, but Masters Worlds is in Emporia next year, as all you guys know. And they're talking about the final 9s and everything for next year. So that'll be pretty cool.
They did final 9 at this year's Worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, watching the 4 guys or 5 dudes who were playing the best that weekend at any given course, it was just always so awesome. I remember watching in Emporia, watching like you and Jorge, Randolph, sometimes LaRon, sometimes Ron Kahn, just watching those final 9s and then driving all the way to Western Kansas afterwards. But never once thought about leaving because you just didn't leave stuff like that.
You didn't leave.
So you could miss LaRon throw 9 miles over trees with Pegasus or something like that. Who's going to miss that?
Yeah, old hole 18 Jones West. LaRon when he used to park that hole over the top. That's insane. That was such a crazy shot now, let alone 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago when nobody could throw that shot, he threw that shot.
The Pegasus,
ridiculousness, dude. I'll never forget that. And I think I'm remembering that final 9. I think it was you, LaRon, maybe Babbitt, Converse. I don't know. I don't remember who the 4 was, but I remember that shot on 18 at Jones West, and it was like, what is this guy doing?
Just jaw dropping. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and give our sponsor some love. McCabe, I'm sorry. Give me just a second.
Yeah, no, please do.
Let's give Smitty and Heisernuts a little love here. So as everyone remembers, this episode is brought to you by Heisernuts. And I told y'all there's going to be a way for you to get an opportunity to get a free mystery box. All you have to do to get this free mystery box is there will be a drawing on next podcast. We're going to spin a wheel for it. You need to share the YouTube podcast. Once it comes out, it won't be available until Friday. You need to like that video, comment on that video, your favorite moment, and that's it. If you do that, you're entered into the drawing and can win this mystery box. Remember, 1 driver, distance driver, 1 fairway, 1 mid-range, and 1 putter. So $50 value coming at you for free just for sharing the goods. All right. Thank you for that, gentlemen. Let's get back to some fan questions with McCabe here.
You guys used to do Disc Golf Answer Man, and you had quite a run. How many shows did you guys do?
Oh, gosh. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, we were
wasn't it?
Hundreds. Yeah. Cause Bobby and I started it, 2012, probably 13, way back. And it was just him and I for a while. And I would call in occasionally and we'd do it that way. So, and we were doing it weekly. Like we wouldn't take time off. We would do it every week. And then we had, there for a while, I think Dixon was on it and I thought he did great. And then we had Robert on there. And I think Robert was probably the GOAT at it. That guy he just knows his disc golf information and he can speak well. And he's just an all-around good dude, and then at the end it was, Anthony was involved here and there and we'd have guests come in. So yeah, we did that show for many, many years. I could go back and look at probably what the numbers were that we did, but it was such a fun show to be a part of.
Yeah, it was well over 100 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you and Taco do a little bit of it, or you did do a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Taco. Would you ever consider starting another pod and getting going again?
I would love to, actually. Yeah, I think it'd be, I've got some information out there to give and some knowledge I think that I could spit for some people. But, when Taco and I started doing it, we were just doing it for fun, just to do it, and we were still doing it and we still make plans to do it. And we're still doing videos like almost weekly that we're putting out on the YouTube channel and promoting whatever we got to promote kind of thing. But it's more of just a good time, right? I would love to start a podcast again. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. As you guys all know, I mean, your guys is monthly, and I guarantee it, you still don't have time to do all the prep work that you want to do for it, and well, Lucas will help you out with all that. I'm sure of it. So he's going to fill it for you guys. But yeah, no, I would absolutely love to be a part of it. Maybe more of a monthly type of a one than a weekly like I did before, just because of the not enough hours in the day with all the stuff I've got going on right now with course design and playing some old man golf, and then obviously the ESU stuff going on. So there's just not enough time in the day, really. But yeah, I would love to get one going again. And Taco and I kicked it around about bringing it back, and he's more local now because he just had another baby. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Yeah, congratulations, Taco.
So yeah, we'll probably be doing some more of that type of stuff here soon.
And that's kind of where Ronnie and I were. We just wanted to do something that was fun, and if people watch it, that's great. If not, you know what? We're having a blast doing it just ourselves.
Exactly right. Yep.
We have a good time. Little spoiler alert: we might be going more than monthly coming up as the old tour season rolls around. So
Love
stay
to hear
tuned.
Yeah, I mean during the season, it's a lot easier too. You got more to talk about at least with the events that just happened and all that. So yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
more content, the better.
Absolutely.
We need to get you guys on the channel too and do some video type stuff.
Let's do it, dude.
100%.
All right. So, what is the best course that you've played to date, not counting one of your designs?
Disc Golf Terminalen. It's easy pick for me. It's in Skellefteå, Sweden, the one I referenced earlier. It's basically, if you watch Latitude 64, if you watch their YouTube channel and the disc reviews that they do and anything they're doing out on the course, that's one of the courses that is on their complex. I don't know how many are there. Well, a few years ago, I played a tournament there, and it was the 81 hole challenge, and we played 81 holes. And it was 81 unique holes, different holes, right? It was all different holes on this course. It was like 5 or 6 different courses that we were playing. And the tournament was a lot of fun. I mean, we were dead tired by the end of it, but we started at like 10 a.m. and we finished at like 10 or 11 p.m. But it was when the sun never went down, so we were able to do that. So Disc Golf Terminalen is by far my favorite course. The championship level that we played out for the Scandinavian Open is the one I'm referencing. It's hole 1 is I don't even know how far it is, but it's a par 6. It's the one that the Albatross River came from. You know what that disc is?
Yeah.
It's like there's limited amount of those out there. Apparently somebody threw in an albatross with a river from the fairway from like 450 or something crazy like that. And it was such a sick hole. It was like this massive turnover. It's like 420 to get to a landing zone, and then you've got another 430 around another corner. And then it's another dog leg to the right that plays another 400 feet or something crazy like that. But it was a legit par 6, and it was just so much fun to be there. It was just, and I think that's probably part of it too, right? Part of the experience of being in another country, playing a tournament and doing what you love. And yeah, that course is just amazing. If you ever have the opportunity and you're ever in that area for whatever reason, definitely check out that course.
All right, on. And then these next few questions are going to pretty much be in the whole realm of course design area. So you've kind of stepped away from disc golf for a while and got into the course designing, as we all know. Is there anybody you look up to as a course designer?
I would say there's a few. Obviously, back in the day, it was always Houck. Was always the man that was putting in courses all over Texas, because that's, I've played a lot of disc golf in Texas. I played a lot of his courses, so looking up to him and what he's done for the sport. Handful of others come to mind. HB Clark is another one from kind of more out east Kentucky area. I think he's done a lot of courses out in that area. So yeah, there's definitely some names I've looked up to. I mean, it's crazy how many people are doing it now as opposed that we're doing it 15, 20 years ago, which makes sense, with the boom of the sport and everything. But, you've got Disc Golf Park has a handful of designers over there that do great quality work. I run into all these guys at trade shows, and we always kind of go and have dinner at some point. And now Discmania being under the House of Disc umbrella, it'll be fun working closer with those guys on some things, maybe doing some special projects. So looking forward to that as well. But But my number one guy that I always looked up to going into the course designs and all that was definitely Houck. I mean, I think if you ask any course designer and they don't say John Houck, then they're probably new to the sport, would be my guess.
He's designed some buttes, that's for sure.
Yeah,
legend.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask this next one because this was my question, and I saw you post something the other day while you're in Georgia, but I don't know if you know this exact number, but how many disc golf courses have you designed, and then how many states have you now gone into?
Yeah. So number wise, I'm around, I'd have to sit down and count the rest of them, but I think I'm around 82, 83 courses in 29 states.
Dang.
29 different states plus one in Canada.
You're international.
Got to go to the old Kamloops, BC is a course I designed out there on MacArthur Island. They call it Mac Island, so we changed it to EMAC Island. So it's just a little shorter style of course. But
of course you did.
29 states. And the goal obviously is all 50. I think that'd be such a cool goal to hit at some point, have EMAC course in all 50 states, even if it's just a 9-holer somewhere. I'm not picky where I'm only going to go do courses on properties that are just, set up for big DGPT events. It's almost anymore, a city will reach out and say, hey, we want a championship level course and, come to town and see what we can do. And you get there and they've got 30 acres to work with and not a single disc golf course within, a 30-mile radius or something like that. Well, the last thing that they need is a big championship level course, something that's a little more beginner friendly, maybe advanced level. You can put a couple tee pads in for difficulty, but I mean the more and more Hammond Parks that we put in the ground, in my opinion, the better for the growth of the sport.
How do you approach something like that when somebody calls you in and they have this big dream of making this, killer course, and you show up and it's just flat, barren land and there's playgrounds, there's, how do you steer them towards what they need?
Yeah, it's not always easy because a lot of times they have their mind set on what they want, and you just have to kind of explain it to them and show them other properties that have these courses on it that are championship level and really just explain to them. And that's one of the first things I do is explain to them, hey, if you want to host events on this, it takes time. You can't just boom, put a course in the ground, then all of a sudden we're running an A tier. I mean, look at the course I did up in Alaska. We put that course in 2018, 2019 or something like that. And we ran our first A tier last year. So it takes time to get these courses put in the ground and beat in and play B tiers on and those kind of things. And I've absolutely told a city that, hey, I just can't do this because of the playgrounds or the sidewalks or whatever the case may be. And one course that does come to mind is really close to here, and that's El Dorado, that course down there. Man, I was stoked when I won that bid, and I went out there and looked at that property, and it was absolutely beautiful property. And they told me straight up, hey, if you need a bridge, we're going to put in a bridge. So I designed that course to the best of the ability of the property and shared the design with them. Is like, oh, well, we can't put in a bridge here. So we had to redesign it. Right. So we redesigned it, and then, well, we need to do this. And, it's just little things keep coming up. And then, we finally got a decent layout in the ground, and then all of a sudden they come in and put sidewalks down the middle of each fairway. And it's just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And you don't want your name on that because it's kind of like dragging your name through the mud almost. But that's the one thing about course design. A lot of people just judge you by the course the way it is, as opposed to really thinking about the limitations you have when you put in a course. I mean, I know Smitty's done some work with course design and put courses in, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Why don't you go down this way? Well, I'd love to go that way if they let me. It's just little things like that. And just having those conversations with cities and being upfront with them. It's like, hey, you've got a playground right here. We cannot put a basket or a tee pad here. I mean, potentially you could have one be throwing away from a playground, but even that, you've seen some beginners, the Richards out there that just shank drives. You want to make sure everything is absolutely safe because you don't want to get that call later on down the road saying a little kid got hit by a disc or something.
Right. Yeah, I think the last I knew, El Dorado, maybe they had pulled out one set of baskets and they were going to try to do something with them somewhere different. I don't know if that ever happened. I heard rumors of El Dorado Lake getting something, but don't know what happened
I'd heard that as well, but I know that's the city and then the Corps of Engineers, so it was two different entities working on it. But
it's never going to work with two bodies like that working.
Which is a shame because that property out there was amazing. Like the first time I walked it, like it's an old 9-hole golf course, I think.
Yeah,
and
cool.
It was beautiful property, and it's just a shame that it came to what it was. But
there was a guy trying to keep it mowed or trying to ramrod the mowing. I think they were mowing some of it themselves, and I hear people say that, and that is, man, that's a job. If you're going to mow a disc golf course for somebody, you're committing to something that's going to cost you time, lots of money, and a tremendous amount of effort.
Yeah, especially in the spring and summer when the grass doesn't stop growing.
No, dude, I forget that. I'll just drive somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you kind of talked about this a little bit, but what is your course design process? What's step one? What are the important considerations? And then we talked about the third one. What if you're offered a bad canvas? So what's step one when you show up?
Step one is obviously getting maps and getting boundaries and figuring out where I can and can't go and what the city or the potential landowner, whoever it is I'm working for, what their vision is of the course and what they want to see. A good example is just last week I was down in Georgia designing a course down there and stepped foot on the property and I was blown away by what I saw. I mean, it was all woods. There was nothing but woods on this piece of property. So I spent, a week out there just walking it, just getting to know the lay of the land and finding big sick trees that I want to utilize, put a basket next to, or, those kind of things. And then dropping GPS coordinates down on my phone and studying maps later that night at the hotel or Airbnb, wherever it may be. And, just really focusing on, where do you want this course to start and where can we get this course to end? If you can find your first and your last holes, the other 16 do kind of fall in there, but there's a lot of maps, studying maps, GPSing, finding every corner of the property. Like it was thick woods. It's Georgia. So obviously it's very thick woods. So, I mean, I spent, I don't know how many hours just walking that property, getting to know it. And they do have a little trail system that goes through the middle of it, which was nice for me to have. So I went through and I GPSed it on my phone with my watch and just walked it. And then I could pull that up on my computer and see exactly where that map was, see exactly where the trail went. So I can utilize that trail for access points to maybe the next fairway, have a hole coming up not close to it, but around it. And then you can have another trail cut to that trail so you can utilize the trails. And they really wanted to utilize the trail system for that course because for one, it's a great introduction to the sport for people that have just been walking that trail for years and see what are you doing out here? What's going on, and help clean up some trash and those kind of things. But those are kind of the steps that I go through and obviously putting the course down, putting the ground whiskers that I have, put those down in the ground, GPS coordinates, have them mow through the fairways and then come back and then do the final layout for them after that. So one thing I did in Georgia was I put a ground whisker down on where the tee pad goes and where the basket goes. And I took ribbon every 30 feet through the woods and just went right down the middle of what my proposed fairway was and gave them the directions of, hey, if I'm not here, here's what needs to be done. Each hole have a written out art, whatever you want to call it, like a spreadsheet of hole 1, here's how you do it. Hole 2, here's how you do it. And take out everything 20, 30 feet to each side of that ribbon, and anything under 6 inches, just get it out of here. We don't even need that on there. And anything invasive, take it out. We don't want to take any big, beautiful trees out unless they're dead. So yeah, that's kind of my process. And then I'm really looking forward to going back down to that one after they get everything cut and walking it and then finally placing everything, because nothing's ever set in stone until you're ready to put everything in the ground, right? Especially on a wooded course, because after you cut the fairways, you may see another avenue that you couldn't see with all the dense woods and everything. So 100% love going back and just ripping through those trees again. So
yeah, I bet that's cool. because when you're walking through thick trees like that, you can't see past 10 feet.
Yep.
I remember in the early days of Thomas Park, they have some holes that those guys just cut through the trees, and Mace showed me some of them, and I was like, dude, I don't even know what you're looking at here. But
right. Yeah. A lot of times, a secret is looking up too. Because if you look up, especially this time of year when all the leaves are down, you can look up and get a pretty good idea on what the bigger trees, more mature trees are in the area, and know, wow, there's a big tree, a couple 100 yards down here, but everything else in between here and there is relatively small. So you can kind of create your own fairways in the woods, which is so much fun to be able to do. Just have a blank canvas like that in the woods and go through and just design your own course.
Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable.
That would be amazing.
Have something like that to just to dream something up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Do you try to think of left versus right fairways? You try to like balance it out that way?
If it's a wooded course and the opportunity allows, to me, I think a great quality course is if you can have, 6 holes finishing left, 6 holes finishing right, and 6 holes finishing straight, or give or take something like that. But yeah, I definitely try to map that out. I also try not to get too repetitive with it and have, 6 holes where we're all hyzers and then 6 holes in a row of straight shots. Try to mix it up as much as you can, a little bit here and there. And I'll tell you what's really tough is distances in the woods. You walk 300 feet in the woods and you feel like you just walked 500 feet in the woods because, you're walking around all these trees and ups and downs and over logs and whatnot. And so having GPS is your best friend in the woods, because then you can get those accurate distances on how far you just walked. And, I've actually a couple times used disc just to kind of measure a throw and just to give it a take. I know that's not like, it's like within 15 or within 12 feet or something like that, but it gets you an idea of how far you've gone. That's not what we use for signage or anything like that, but it's just good to know how far you have gone. If I'm looking for a par 4 on a certain hole, then I need to get to at least 430 or so if it's a wooded style of hole, and depending on what the terrain looks like and all that. But distance is probably the hardest thing to figure out in the woods.
Imagine. What's the craziest thing you've ever stumbled across when you're just out walking through the woods?
Oh, that's a good question.
You had to find something weird.
A dead moose.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That was in Kansas City.
that makes it even weirder.
Speaking of Thomas Park.
Well, the crazy part about the dead moose was that next day we ran into a live moose in the woods, which was very scary.
Yeah, you don't mess with those suckers.
No, there's more deaths in Alaska to humans by moose than there are bear, which is insane to think about. But moose are just insanely big, crazy beasts that if you get between a moose and his baby, you better watch out. You better watch out. I heard a story that it's like 100 yards. The baby could be within 100-mile radius in a circle of it, and it knows exactly where it is. And if you're between it, forget about it. So that's very scary to see him. But the one we saw it'd been dead for a while, and it was, every year I've gone back. This last year was the first year I went back to the course, the tournament, and couldn't find where the body was. Everything's been gone since then. But every year going back, we could still find where that moose was and find the bones every year. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's nuts. So there are a few internet questions kind of around this course design that I just want to call up right now.
Yeah, let's go.
Someone asked you, you ever been called to update or fix a course?
Yeah, I've definitely done some redesigns here and there. A lot of times it's like we kind of touched on earlier with trees being, falling down, or it's going from an 18 to a 9 or something like that. I did a redesign of a course actually in Maryland, out in Baltimore, and right by the airport. And what they had done was they put a path through the park, and it was too close to certain areas, and they wanted to make sure it was safe for everybody. So they wanted me to come in and look at it and see what I could do. And we were able to push most of the holes away from the path and into the woods and make a quality 18 right there. So yeah, I'm not opposed to redesigning. Obviously, I don't like stepping on toes where, it's kind of a fine line to walk on. If it's, if a city hired someone to go out and do a course design and they're a buddy of mine, or I know who they are, I sometimes will reach out to them and just be like, hey, what happened with this project? What's going on? Let me know. And those kind of things. But stepping on toes is never fun. Nobody likes to do that.
I can see that. And then last question here from online. Josh says, my favorite tee pad is like a circular 10 by 12 cement graded pad.
Ooh,
if you were able to design the uniform tee pad, would you change what it currently is, or what would yours be?
Man, over the years, I've played on all kinds of different tee pads, and for whatever reason, circle tee pads are nightmares for me personally. And that's only because the only place I've really played on them is Fountain Hills, and they're all pretty slick from that fountain.
Yeah.
Getting nasty juices on them. So I'm not opposed to a circle tee pad as long as it's big enough, because to me, the rectangle, it just seems to make a lot of sense, especially if it's aimed towards the basket and the fairway that you're throwing down. When it's a circle, I always felt like I was going to fall off the end of it. I've done both on my courses. I've done concrete. I've done turf. I prefer turf when it comes to playing. But if a city comes to me and asks for my opinion on the matter, on, hey, what should we put in, concrete or turf? I'm going to be honest with them and say, okay, well, here's the scenario. You can put down turf pads and they're great and everybody loves them. Or you can put down a concrete tee pad. And if you do it right the first time, you're using that tee pad for 30 years. Turf is great. I love turf. And a lot of these cities aren't looking for added maintenance throughout the years. And that's what, unfortunately, real quality turf pads is going to need a little bit of maintenance on, whether it's pounding them out a little bit more, flatten them out, or putting sand on them, or whatever the case may be. But courses that we put in around here in Emporia anymore, 5 by 12 is kind of our standard on what we go with. Smitty knows this one. Lake Louisville is the one that I absolutely love. I've always loved those tee pads. I want to say they're 5 by 20.
They're
probably.
at least 20. They're long.
20, 25, something like that. They were runways. And the best part about them was when it was raining and muddy, they weren't that slick because you had the whole back half of the tee pad to stand on. You could fit your whole card on the tee pad and not be bothered. It was insane how big these tees are. And they still have a couple of those out there, but that course, I don't know if you knew that, Smitty, had been redesigned a couple of times, and it's definitely not what it used to be. They put a walking path, as a lot of parks do, through the middle of it, and they lost a few holes. They've added a few really cool holes through the trees and the woods and everything, but they went a little bit smaller on their tee pads. But those tee pads were sick.
They were huge, man.
Yeah, I have a good 20-foot tee pad.
Remember we had to go out there and shovel those suckers?
Oh yeah, I think I have a video that pops up every now and then of some Texas sledding. It's you sliding down a
shovel
hill with a shovel.
Man, we
went out there and shoveled tees.
Find salt for the tee pad. We went everywhere.
Yeah, they don't have salt in Texas. They don't get snow.
God, that sucked, man.
Yeah. That's another great. Louisville's like a special place for me. It was one of the first courses I played in Texas. I think it was the second course I played behind VPO, actually. It was the first tournament that I convinced Jeremy to go down to and run an event there. And were you at that first one, Smitty? Do you remember that when we had to move it?
The first time I played there at Louisville, we were supposed to do the tournament at Louisville, and the lake was too full, and we had to go to Cedar Hill, and that's when we got all hooked up at Lamoureux, and that whole thing started. Yeah, that was the first time we did it, and I'll never forget Jeremy Rusko and I sitting in a Super 8 motel room and literally calling every single competitor in the tournament and letting them know that the course, the properties moved, that we moved the courses to Cedar Hill because of the flooding and everything. And gosh, can you imagine that? We didn't have internet back then or anything to just send out an email blast to people saying, hey, the course has moved, blah, 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 so, but now
it all worked out.
Push a button.
It all worked out. Cedar Hill was great. That was, I think, Jeremy and Brian's first meetup. So Brian's been going strong with us for years now. So it's Louisville's always had a special place for me.
Yeah, I always loved going there, hanging out with old man and
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep.
I remember
next week.
What were those videos that Bobby used to make? You and Nico had a battle
Oh,
there.
the duels. Yeah, the dynamic duels. Yeah, the duel. That was one of my favorite videos of all time. Yeah, that thing still gets views.
Not that long ago.
That thing still gets views on TV. I can't believe that. I think I went 8 for 8 to start. I think I went 8 for 8 to start at that round. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, the duels were a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That whole time frame was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, Bobby around and just we were definitely having some fun.
Yeah, we were. Even when our RV would only go forwards, we still had fun. Oh man. So I guess our next question was, who gets credit for teaching you how to play?
Ooh, good one. A couple people. My mentor, obviously being LaRon, was the guy that I modeled my game after and tried to, just be a sponge anytime I could. But introduction to the game was Jim Ramsey. Do you remember Jim? Did you ever meet Jim?
I remember the name.
Yeah, James is, I think, what he goes by now. But he doesn't get out and play a whole lot anymore. But Mike Gentry, Don Carter, those guys were all I was a gymnast, as a kid. And I was getting back into it through like high school, I think it was. Me and Jim would just go down and just kind of really just have a good time and jump on the trampolines is all that we were doing at that point. But Mike was still around, and then we would go and play disc golf, and it was Jones West, and that was the only course in town. Back then when I first started playing, it was the only course we could play is Jones West, which is crazy to think about now. But yeah, and it's similar layout. It's kind of a little different now because of the Jones Park's gone through crazy different, different designs out there, different layouts, different everything at Jones, from losing trees to putting in a big course to putting in 2 courses again, those kind of things. But yeah, we would go out, and it was my, I think, senior year of high school is when I really first started getting into it a little bit more. And we would skip school occasionally and go out and play disc golf. I remember, I'll never forget, one day we were skipping school and we went out, and there was a cameraman out there, and it was a guy from Emporia Gazette. And we're just like, what's this guy doing? It's kind of weird. He goes, hey, I'm just trying to get some shots of people enjoying the park. You mind if I take some pictures? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? That next day, we're on freaking front page of the sports page or front page of the Emporia Gazette throwing disc. And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, well, we skipped school, so we're busted for sure. So
Dale was pretty happy about that, wasn't he?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's my boy.
So, but no, yeah, I remember those days vividly. And, man, just there were so many people that I learned from, Kevin Babbitt being one of them. I used to play. I know when Kevin was on, he talked a little bit about it. We would go out and play dollar rounds, and just to keep it, keep it competitive and put something on the line is something I always stress to anybody. Just put something on the line, even if it's your pride, to go out and play, because it'll help you play a little bit harder, or have an embarrassing bag tag that you do not want to carry on your bag. Things like that are
Ronnie,
just kind of help get your buddies into it and keep that competitive juices flowing, But yeah, Jim Ramsey, Mike Gentry, Don Carter, those are the 3 that we used to run with quite often.
Well, that's a pretty good crew.
Yeah.
Don Carter play anymore at all or not?
I haven't seen. I'd heard he moved. I'm not sure if it was Kansas City or Wichita, but he had moved out of Emporia, sold his gym, and he's not here anymore. So I haven't seen him in years.
Last I knew, there was a gym in Bel Air. He had a gym in the Wichita area.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still open or if he even still owns it, but he had one at one time last I knew.
And then Mike, I think he still has the gym over in Council Grove. There's a jungle gym there is what it's called. And he owned it and had been doing things over there. I haven't seen him in years either. It's crazy. I haven't seen any of those guys in a long time.
You'll bump into him and it'll be just like you saw him yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I'd love to get that old crew back together for a round. That'd be a lot of fun. Get everybody, the whole Emporia disc golf scene with like Tojo and the Sloth and Mark.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Sloth in a minute.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't make it to Beloit this last year because we were in Flagstaff. But even the year before, I don't think he made it the year before, did he?
No. And I haven't seen him a couple years there.
Yeah, I wish I could have made it to Flagstaff this year. I was in Alaska playing that or running that A tier, so it was just unfortunate timing for us for that. But
yeah. Well, we'll see you in Emporia this summer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually, when I first heard that we're going to be putting in or Emporia's putting in a bid, I was like, man, I should start playing some more, like get out and play some. So this year I actually did get out and play some events, which is pretty cool. I don't know how many I played, a handful of A tiers and VPO. I'd always wanted to go back to VPO because that's always been like a special event for me because it was the first tournament I ever traveled out of state to play with Mace Man, with Brandon. He drugged me down there in 97. The year was 1997. Can you believe that? And I went down and played AM2 and actually won AM2. And then I played VPO for many, many years after that. And that's like the one tournament that I always wanted to win, right? And I think I have 4 second place finishes in MPO to 4 different people, which is insane. But all 4 people, if I tell you the names, you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. It was
stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Perfect. But yeah. So yeah. Go on. Go ahead.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Go down my list. I'm probably going to mess Lucas up because I'm going to skip a few of them here.
You're good.
How's the transition to coaching disc golf been? What are the pros and cons of that?
The cons are, not getting to play at all these events that I'm traveling to with these guys and gals. But the pros is, passing on some knowledge to those that want it and, helping build something. And last year's team was this year's team's great too, but last year's team, it was the first year we did it. I ran a tryouts in August, I think it was. And it was it wasn't thrown at me, but it was like last minute kind of thing where I had to figure out, okay, who's going to be on this team? What are we going to do here? So I ran a flyer at Emporia State and said, hey, we're going to do disc golf tryouts for scholarships and all that stuff. Be here at Jones Park. And, I expected like 10 people to show up. I'm like, all right, here's my team. Let's go. 45 people came to try out for the disc golf team. And I had to narrow it down. Well, I should say 45. 44 men came out and 1 woman came out. So I had to narrow that down to 8 guys. And it wasn't an easy task. A lot of it was, some of it was a little easier than others because some of them had never played a tournament before and those kind of things. But we did like a putting contest. We did an accuracy and a distance, and I made them all go through it twice. And then I gave them homework of, hey, go play Jones East and West and report your scores to me and those kind of things. And was able to get a pretty quality team together actually. And we had a heck of a year last year. Only lost 1 tournament, and unfortunately it was the very last hole of the national championship, which was such a bummer to see. It was very heartbreaking. But it was cool. It was great. And having Emporia State, like, believe in it, believe in disc golf. I mean, we're one of the only universities that's operating underneath the athletic umbrella. So we're not a club. We're an official, athletics. And I have monthly head coaches meeting where I'm sitting next to the football coach talking budgets and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty insane when I sit back and look at everything and think about it, but it's really cool that Emporia State believed in it and gave us all scholarships and put together a budget for us to travel and go to these events and just have a great time. And the guys and gals I have this year are awesome as well. The funny story about the last year was the one girl that showed up, her name was Shelby, and she was from Topeka originally, and she played on the volleyball team, and she just happened to play disc golf, and I saw her out at the course one day, and I said, hey, do you want to be on the disc golf team? We need to find one more girl, but are you interested? And she was all about it. And a couple weeks later, I get an email from a girl named Rebecca that said, I'm interested in playing on the team. Shelby's a friend of mine. I heard you need somebody. Spoiler alert, I've never played disc golf in my life. And I'm like, well, we need a girl, so here's your scholarship. Let's go. And, so her first introduction to disc golf was Ricky Wysocki Clinic, which is pretty cool. Ricky was in town, so he came and did a clinic for us. That was her first introduction. And then that weekend, we all went to Jonesboro and played a tournament. And her first round was at that course, that Jonesboro course that you see on the video and everything. And I don't remember what she shot, but it was a lot. But that girl is in love with the sport now. She was a senior last year. She graduated and went back to ESU just to get her master's degree so she can play disc golf. And that's it. So she is addicted. She's hooked, and it's great to see. I love it. And now we actually have 4 girls playing on the team, which is great. And they're just awesome individuals and great players. And just the team, the camaraderie between everybody has just been so phenomenal this year. And I'm excited to see what we do at Nationals this year.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, good luck to you, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, I got 2 more here, I think.
All
Maybe 3. How's the transition from DD/Rusco to House of Disc affected you, if at all?
Yeah, great question. It really hasn't affected me at all. I'm kind of a unique situation at Dynamic, I'd say. Now, if I was still like acting team manager as I was a few years ago, it'd probably be a different story. But with what I do and how my agreement is, I kind of do my own thing in a way. You know, I kind of come and go as I need to, and I'm able to travel and travel and do courses and the designs and all that stuff. And obviously, DD has a little investment into the ESU team as well. So, you know, they're helping with some gear and some bags and those kind of things, a couple shirts, those kind of details that is needed for a college team. But for me personally, it really hasn't affected me at all, aside from meeting new people, really, like the new CEO, David Hine, who came from a very, very crazy background, actually, like Dickies out of Fort Worth. He was, you know, the I think CEO of Dickies. And what are the other 2? There was 2 more, like 5. I don't remember if it's 511 Tactical. I probably butchered that. I don't remember what it was, but it's like a climbing business company that are pretty popular. And then OP, what's OP stand for? What is that one? I can't remember it, but either way, the guy's like been CEO of all these big, huge, multi-billion-dollar companies, and to have him in Emporia with the business knowledge of disc golf has been pretty cool. You know,
Ocean Pacific.
Yeah, Ocean Pacific. There you go. And having him there to be able to make no, it's Outdoor Research. OR. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Burn.
Sorry. Outdoor Research.
It's his fault, not mine.
Yeah. I said OP. It was OR. Yeah.
To Lucas's credit, he led the weakness down the road.
He could have been there too. I don't know. But no, it's great having them in. And then I actually got to sit down and meet Knut Ari, who is the GM CEO of the entire thing, the European guy that they brought in to do all that stuff. So it's great. And you know, it's a little different, I'd say, than when it was just the whole family atmosphere. You know, it's definitely not the family vibe anymore. It's pretty much all business at this point. But I mean, anymore, you kind of have to go that route if you want to succeed. I feel like you can be mom and pop still and be successful, but when you want to do bigger things in the industry, then you've got to kind of do these steps, you know, and but you know, everyone's still there. It's this, you know, the same directors are in charge of everything that have been in charge of everything. Rusco's still there. He still has an office. He still sits on the board and does make decisions and all that. So, you know, while some things are the same, some things are different, but at the end of the day, I'm excited to see where it takes him.
How about my guy Clay? He's still there?
Oh yeah, in Clay we trust.
God, I love that
so
guy.
mad if he hears me say that, but yeah, Clay's not going anywhere.
Clay is an animal, dude.
Yeah, he was one of the first official employees.
Oh yeah, that guy. What a stud.
Yep.
All right, Lucas, I think we should go 4 up and bring that picture up for our final question here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I just want to, just before we move on to the last question, I do want to say someone asked this question, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Single best tip for forehands. So,
Don't throw them.
I've got it. The best tip I can give you for a forehand is find a nice quality understable disc and throw it on a backhand turnover shot, because as funny as it is, I make jokes with people all the time about this. I always say a forehand is for someone who hasn't developed a quality backhand turnover shot.
There you go, man, a boy.
But trust me, if I could throw a good forehand, I would. That's something that has eluded me for my career. But yeah.
All right, so we got hit with this a couple of times.
Are
you know
you
where
familiar?
this is going yet?
I do not know what's going on yet.
All right, go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah, so you have a disc golf doppelganger.
Okay, yep, I knew that.
Are you familiar?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so do you know who this is going to be?
Is it Nate?
Yes, so Nate Taylor.
You know, when I was putting my name in here, wherever it is, I was really close to putting Nate Taylor. I almost did it.
Yes. So
Not
a lot
related?
of people have asked
Nope.
if you would agree to a paternity test.
Sure. Would that be? Would he be my father, or would I be his father?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he would have to be his.
Okay, we're siblings then.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a quick trip, both of you, down ancestry.com and see if you're actually separated.
I'm down for that for sure. Yeah. Maybe I'll have him on McTaco and just have him take my place one week.
Just fill in.
Yeah, fill in for me.
No, he only throws forehands, so everybody's going to catch on real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
That is hilarious to think about. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, he doesn't throw backhands hardly at all.
That's hilarious. That's great.
He's your
that
equal.
that
He's your
resemblance
evil.
is amazing.
We would be great doubles partners then.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
it's kind of got to happen now.
It's got to. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You're doomed.
Let's talk this dude up for a little bit. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Hold on. Let me get to this. Let's brag about this amazing specimen.
So yeah, so we Eric, I went through. I've studied your history quite a bit. Obviously, I was there for enough of it that I saw plenty. But we're gonna show your record against the top, what I consider pretty. I think everybody would agree, the three best players of all time.
Sure.
This being what most would consider the third best player of all time. Obviously, that's arguably, but Barry is certainly in the mix, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty good record against Barry Schultz.
Not bad. We tied once.
3 times Mr. McCabe finished second place to Barry Schultz. Do you know which one of those was? I think you talked about it earlier.
I know what 2 of them are.
Oh, do you know all 3 times?
You know what? I bet I do. I bet I might. I know one of them was VPO for sure.
2005.
One of them was Bowling Green Open
2008.
because that was the closest I came to an NT. I remember that. And then Zebo's.
Try the Desert.
The Desert.
Gentlemen's Club in the same year,
Okay.
2008.
Okay. Yep, that's right. Because Barry, and then I beat him at the Gentlemen's Club the next year. I remember that because I was the first person to knock Barry off that pedestal. I do remember that.
But Barry did not finish second that year. You did finish first one time when Barry finished second. Do you know where that was?
Ooh.
Mr. Jim's Pizza.
That's probably a good guess right there.
2006 Carrollton. You beat Mr. Schultz by 9 shots.
Dang, look at him.
That was
Did he not
pretty
show up?
bad.
Did he show up late? I've always enjoyed Barry. I've always enjoyed playing with him. He always stopped in Emporia and stayed at my house over on Lawrence Street anytime he was coming through, and I always really enjoyed playing rounds of golf with Barry.
Yeah. Let's show the next one, Lucas. Obviously, you know, a lot of people will consider Barry to be probably the third greatest player in the history of our sport. We get in a little grayer area when we're talking about these two guys. The first one, obviously, the champ, right?
Absolutely.
You played against the champ, and you were playing at the same time 49 times, I believe, with the champ.
Okay. That's not a bad record. I'll take that.
You never finished second directly to Ken. However, you did beat the champ one time where he finished second place. Do you know where that was?
Ooh. I beat him and he got second. That was probably Barnett Park.
God, this dude's got a memory. 2009 Barnett Park's disco. Although I believe any of us would remember if
you don't forget losing. You don't forget beating the champ in Florida.
In his backyard. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome stuff. What was your experiences playing with Kenny? I know you got to play with him a lot of times, so.
Oh, it's super intimidating. I mean, like he was just this beast, just this robot, right? That just never really threw bad shots, it seemed like even if he did throw a bad shot, he was able to get up and down, and you had to press so hard in order to get any strokes on the guy. He was just intimidating, I think is the best way to put it. And very just a genuine guy too. You know, he's very competitive, but he's also, you know, first to give you props when you've done something well. Right. I've played a lot of rounds with with Climo. I've played golf with Climo before a few times. You know, he's a big avid golfer as well. And it's the same on the golf course it is on the disc golf course. The guy is just super competitive and better than me, to say the least. So, but the thing about Kenny, he always, you know, he was one that I looked at as well. And I think it's more of us old school golfers. We tend to not change up our form and throw everything on the same angles. And I know Climo did that, and I try to preach that. And if I'm trying to throw a turnover shot, I love to hit the same line, just throw a flippier disc. And that's something that I learned watching Climo play. But obviously we didn't have the discs that we have now, to where some of these discs just don't even come close to turning over, you know? So, but yeah, it was all Climo's the man. I mean, dude, nobody's going to do what he's done in his career. I just believe that.
Yeah. I really hope, with getting him back at USDGC this year to play to play the skins round and then have him on the coverage. Mm-hmm. I really hope, and I know you and I have talked about this quite a bit, Smitty. I really hope that's opened the door to show this next generation who Ken Climo was.
Absolutely.
And getting back in the forefront of our sport, because I think we need it and he deserves it.
I agree with that 100%. The guy's the man. Yeah.
All right. We got one more for you.
Pablo.
There is a Macbeth dude that a few people have heard about, right?
Yep.
So played even more with Paul.
Yep. I believe that. Yep. We came up kind of similar time frame.
Fairly 92 events. You played in the same event as Paul. Finished, never won where Paul finished second. However, you did. Oh, I take that back. You did have one. One time you won when Paul finished second. Do you know where that was?
Ooh. Let's see.
I will give you a hint. We have referenced this city a couple times during this podcast.
Okay. Surely not. Oh, I do know what it is. It was Flagstaff. It was Super Bowl. Yeah, I beat him in a playoff.
2009 Aspen Sports Tree Bash Open.
That's right. Yep.
8-tier win.
In your
twice you finished in your face. Twice you finished second to Paul.
Shocker.
Do you know what those were?
Twice to Paul. Probably was it a GBO?
GBO was not one of them.
Not GBO.
So one of them was the 2012 River Park Open.
Okay, Utah. That was when we were. Yep, I remember that trip. That was me, Paul, Brittany, Steve-O, and Brad, all in the RV driving west.
And this was he happened to be another one of the folks that beat you out for the VPO 2000.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, Paul did beat me. Yep. It was those two, and then the other two were Coda and Avery.
Coda and Avery. That's a pretty good foursome if you're going to lose to some folks.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Just a few accolades for folks who may or may not know. Obviously, we have a 2-time major champion, 1-time world champion. Eric won 17 A tiers in his career. That's pretty impressive. He's also won 4 more as an MP40. Old guys with A tiers. We got 3 old guys with A tiers.
Let's go.
A former top 10 in the world. How long were you a top 10 in the world? Like,
I honestly don't know. I know the year that I won Worlds, I went down in rankings.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think I saw you as high as like 5th in the world at one time.
I think 3 was my highest that I ever got.
3, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Career high rating of 2. We'll throw the 1034 out in 2021 where it was only 4 rounds.
Yeah, no, I never considered that. Yeah.
But 1031 and was 1025 and above for a very long time. And this is another one of these guys that we've had on our pod, Smitty, where Mr. McCabe has been 1,000 rated or above since December of 2003.
It's crazy.
Ooh.
20 years as of this month of being 1,000 rated, and 1,000 rated back when 1,000 was like what 1020 is now.
Yeah, 1,000 was harder.
Yeah, really
so,
hard.
Pretty impressive dude.
Yeah, I remember when ratings started too. I remember those years when the ratings first came to the scene, and we were like, "What are these again? What? What?" And I think people are still like that. What is this doing? How does this work?
There's a lot of people that really hate ratings, but I honestly think they're a good judge of your disc golf ability. Now,
I agree.
Granted, some tournaments, the course sets up where anybody can go and shred if they throw the disc under the pin the whole time. But, over a tournament weekend, I really feel like the ratings do line up pretty well. Ronnie and I can usually finish and look at each other and say, yeah, that felt like a 1020 and that felt like 984.
I always feel like I know where the 1,000 break is. Like, I felt, you feel like, 7 was like 1,000 or something like that. The only thing I've ever really had any contention about the ratings is it's weighted so heavily on who plays instead of how you play.
Yeah.
That's the only, but I think it's a fair barometer. I mean, if someone is, a 995 player, that's a good player, right?
Yeah, he's good.
He's going to be a good player. And if he's 920, maybe he's someone who just doesn't play enough, or maybe he doesn't play against better people. But it's a barometer, and it's an easy barometer we can all use.
It totally is, and I've always said that, and it's better now than it was back when. Who knows when they updated them? But I've always said that ratings are what you've done, not what you're currently doing. And until they update them weekly, which would be a nightmare for somebody, I just think that's how it's always going to be. But you never judge a rating. If you see someone in an event that's 960, that doesn't mean they're not going to come out and shoot.
It doesn't matter, man.
It just doesn't matter.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, anybody's game. It's crazy.
You got 930 rated players throwing the Frisbee 500 feet.
Yeah.
Forehand and back.
Miles an hour.
Yep. And then 4 putting.
Ridiculous. Yeah, and putting missiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, boys. You know what time it is?
All right.
Shall we play a game? Shall we play a game? Shall
We should.
play a game?
We shall.
Let's do it.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Let me get to my sheet here. Let's see if we
We
can.
get to the game tab.
Let's see if Lucas is any better than Gerber.
God, I'm not
I'm
going
gonna
to be.
doubt
I'll
it.
tell you that right now.
but we're going to find out. All right, so we're sitting with a guy who did something pretty special in 2010, we would all say, right? So I went back in 2010 and pulled all of the results from the elite series and majors in 2010. Okay. the top 15 guys. We're looking at top 10s in 2010. See the theme here? So what I'm asking for is those top 15 players with total top 10s in Elite Series and Majors in 2010.
All
The
right.
top 15 players in 2010.
You are the guest, so you get to go first.
I get to pick first, huh?
Okay, I'm gonna give you a caveat too. So
yeah,
3 of these players won multiple times. If you guess one of those players, you get double points.
Oh, dang.
Snap.
All right. I'm gonna go with 10. That was 09 that he won. I'll go with Nate Doss.
Nate Doss was 3rd in top 10s in 2010 with 10.
Nice.
No wins, however.
No wins.
Oh, excuse me, 1 win, not multiple wins.
Smitty. Okay, yeah.
I'll go Climo.
Ken Climo was 5th with 5 top 10s in 2010, and he won twice. 2 points for Smith.
That was too easy. You took mine. That's I can get that one.
Excuse
What
me,
about-
Climo was 6th.
Okay. What about like Feldberg?
Dave Feldberg, 12 top 10s in 12 starts with 5 wins.
Wow.
First.
That's pretty.
Go, Lucas.
He was
You're
already
already way better than Gerber.
He was definitely
I had a dagger.
he was definitely one that I was thinking for sure. What
Mr.
about
McCabe?
I'm going to throw a weird name at you. I'm going to throw Josh Anton.
Josh
Oh.
Anton was tied for 6th in 2010 with 10 top 10s. However, he did not win.
Okay. Yeah, I remember he was a dominant force. I was one of the fortunate ones that he finished second to for like 4 years in a row.
Yeah, he finished second to you at Worlds, correct?
Yep. Tied.
Is he-
All 3 of the guys in the final 9 tied.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is he the Fred Flintstone feet guy?
Yep.
I got
Sure
to play
is.
a couple rounds with Josh out there at Worlds this last year, and I tell you what, I had a good time. I thought he was a really good card mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, Steve Rico.
Steve Rico does not make the list,
Wow.
so that is a.
Wow, I'm losing to Lucas.
That's
You're
right.
still tied with him so far. No, you are, Luke. No, you tied. You got
We're
Climo.
tied.
You
We both got 2.
Everybody's got 2 points right now.
All right. What about was Macbeth doing things in that era yet?
I played with him at Worlds, but no, I don't.
We are
I'd be surprised if he's on that list.
just before the dominant Macbeth. So after
All right.
2 innings, it's 2 apiece.
Nico LaCastro.
Nico LaCastro was 2nd with 11 top 10s
Oh,
in
damn.
12 with 2
Damn.
wins in
2
2010.
wins too. Yep.
Mr. McCabe takes the lead.
How about Paul Ulibarri?
Paul Ulibarri was 4th with 8 top 10s in 2010. No wins.
Oh boy. I've ran out. I'm gonna go ahead and
Have you though?
can I phone a friend? Anyone saying anything in chat?
Oh, he's just Gerber 2.0.
Okay, well, just trying to really help out. I got some points on the board. I'm feeling pretty good.
I think we've said one of the names in this podcast.
There's been a ton of names. We're gonna go ahead and skip my turn.
Oh, all right.
There's a
I've never done this.
It's a new low. That's a new low.
Matty O.
Ooh, good one.
Matt Oram was also tied for 6th
Nice.
in 2010 with 5 top 10s. Good guess.
Trying to think of all the guys I played with.
There's still a bunch of good ones out there.
Yeah.
Barry Schultz.
Barry Schultz just does slide into the list.
That's all I cared
tied
about.
Tied for 11th with 3 top 10s that year on the Elite Series.
Okay. I got some.
All right.
Thank you, chat. What about Will Shoestrick?
Ooh, good one.
Will Shoestrick was also part of that tie for 11th with 3 ties.
Are we on the list? Thank you, chat.
That's a point. All right, last inning, McCabe. You got a 1-point lead over the Smithford. Let's see if you can hold it.
I've got 2 names in my mind. I'm going with Barsby.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Greg Barsby is not on the list, so he has a chance to tie.
On the list. Wow. All right.
2010. Good player. I'm going to go with.
This is where if we had this like really awesome.
This is a stretch.
Here would come the Jeopardy music.
Yep.
I'm trying not to get copyrighted.
I'm trying not to look at the chat. They're all saying Avery. Avery's off the table. We can't say that.
I can.
Go to Hatfield.
Ooh.
The Hatfield is not on the list.
He didn't
play enough.
All right.
Events out.
And Avery Jenkins is mine.
Avery Jenkins is correct.
Is it?
Was part of the tie with Climo, Anton, and Matty O with 5 top 10s. So Mr. McCabe, I believe, becomes the first guest to win the game.
Was Eric on there? We didn't say McCabe, did we?
Eric McCabe was 5th with
That was
6
stupid.
top
Why
10s
didn't I just say him?
6 top 10s and 9 events with a win. I can't believe you didn't guess it.
Yep.
So the other people not guessed. Kel LaVisca, 4 top 10s.
Ooh.
Yep.
MJ,
I was going to say.
Michael Johansson.
I was also going to
Another guy
say.
I got to play with out there in Flagstaff, 4 top 10s.
Do too was another one I was going to guess.
Devin was not on the list.
Oh wow.
He actually was on the list just below 2. He had 2. Didn't quite make the top 15. So we have a pretty. We have a guy from Texas.
Bradley
Williams is correct.
Wow.
3 top 10s. And we have a former United States champion.
Brinster.
Steve Brinster, correct.
Charlie got that one.
Brinster.
Attaboy, Charlie.
He Googled.
Brinster.
It's all right. I'll take it.
2010 was a great year. It wasn't my best year though, either, on the tour at least.
Yeah, 2008, 2009 was pretty.
8 was definitely my year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is the game. Congratulations! I think you're the first guest to ever win.
Nice.
Did Lucas get last?
I should have guessed myself.
I think I tied.
He tied you.
I'm the people's champ.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
No thanks.
Come on. We got to have
DNFing.
Come on.
DNF.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Boom.
What'd you do? You scissors? All right, that hurt.
That hurt.
What year did you go on tour the first year?
03.
03?
That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
In the Dodge?
The first year, in the Dodge, the first year of the national tour. I played the first ever. It's kind of cool, actually. I played the first ever national tour, and I played the first ever DGPT event that was at Maple Hill. Actually, another fun little fact is, do you know who the first person was to throw out the first disc ever at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event? It's a female.
Is it a disc golfer?
It is.
Was she was like the first one off the tee?
First one off the tee that day.
Is it one we should all know?
Probably not. Smitty, you probably know, but like,
Gary Berlogger.
No, not that long ago. She's in the next room.
D Nice?
Yeah.
Really?
Whoa!
Nice.
How cool is that? Yeah.
That's real
That's
cool.
very
Yeah. It's a cool little stat.
Heck yeah. That's
So-
sweet. That's sweet. So we may what would you say, Lucas? We get cut off at 2 hours?
Yeah, I think we've
happens?
pushed the threshold. I don't know what happens. I don't want to find out. So,
Well, I mean, we might as well use our last 3 minutes to see what happens.
okay,
I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, worst that happens is we probably lose live and $4.
Just lose the whole podcast. Can't wait.
Oh, you think so?
I know.
Suck back
I'm
into
sure
the
it'll just
vortex.
cut off.
You'll just cut off.
Lucas, need to set up a skins match. Taco McCabe, Ronnie, and Smitty.
Down.
You guys in?
I would be down for that as well.
All right. It's coming
Three
on the
dudes I
channel.
really like playing disc golf with. So
I also have been messing around. I want to do one of those imposter rounds. Have you seen those things?
No.
So Foundation does it a lot. It's where 4 guys get together and there's 4 playing cards, right? And you pick them on the first hole and there's 4 aces and 1 joker. Whoever gets the joker is the imposter that round. You guys are playing 4 like alternate shot and you set a goal at the beginning of the round. Hey, we're going to shoot a 55 today. That's our goal. Well, one person out of, so if it's us 4 and I draw the imposter card, I'm trying everything in my life to not shoot that 55. And you guys are all, and nobody knows who it is. And it's like, as soon as someone shanks, they're like, oh, that's the imposter. It's kind of cool and kind of fun. And that's something that I've always wanted to try. So if you guys are down with that as well, we've got to force them here. Go check it out. Just search imposter disc golf on YouTube and then they'll pop up. They look like a lot of fun.
I'm going to be in an airport for most of the day tomorrow. Done.
Do it. Yeah.
Eric doesn't get to know that I generally do this from whatever hotel I'm in for the week, but
right.
I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, coming to you live this week. So
fantastic. It's probably got some snow on the ground up there.
Dude, I got my first taste of lake effect snow on Monday.
Oof.
Never experienced that before. I'd rather to keep from experiencing it ever again.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
You did have a nice piece of walleye, though.
I did get some extremely good walleye.
Nice. I had some this last week that I caught myself.
Oh, I wish I would have caught it myself, but
that's what else we need to do.
Make it.
We need to get the boat out. Take my boat out.
Actually, I got rid of mine.
Well, I've got mine still, so we can make this happen.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Cool.
I'm down.
All right, boys. Aaron, thanks for
5 seconds. I'm excited to see what's going to happen to us here.
Well, we'll make it go that long. But thanks for coming on, dude. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, man.
So long.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for sure. I'm excited to see what comes with this podcast. I mean, having Lucas on board is a big deal. I think he's doing a lot of great things, and well done for you guys. I mean, yeah. So.
Well, we went past. We didn't all suck back into the vortex, so I think we're good.
It wasn't like 2020 when we were all freaking out.
Right. 2000.
Doomsday clock.
2000, whatever it was.
Yeah.
All run together.
2022 probably, but yeah.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
All right, then. Cool.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep, you got it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
See you, Eric.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to let him take off. I think should just do a final goodbye to everyone. Everyone, thank you for tuning in today. It was a lot of fun. Remember, for that mystery box, if you want to get a part of that, share the live stream, the YouTube video once it comes out on Friday. Comment on it and like it, and you're in for that mystery box. And anything else from you fellas before we run away?
We're looking for a sponsor for January.
Yeah, please reach out about sponsorships. Let me pop that back up. Remember, if you do want to sponsor, of course, you can do an episode sponsor. You can do a title sponsorship. Just reach out to either me, Smitty, or Ronnie, or you can email us at win.dummies.podcast@gmail.com. We had about at least 30 plus people in chat all night. Really appreciate all the engagement. Make sure you're checking out the YouTube, because that's how we can pop your name up. And I think it just brings a lot more fun to the episodes when we can see who's saying what. So loved that a lot. Thought it was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, guys. First episode with the new format, man. I think it's I really thought it was really good, man. This is very very cool, and obviously having a dude we've known for a quarter century and a good dude to close our year out was pretty awesome.
100%.
Yep,
All right,
yep,
fellas. Well,
Later.
until the next one, take care. Bye-bye now.
Later, dudes.